Yeah, that's my least favourite thing about you editing, is you can reiterate your terrible, awful mistakes, but we've been trying to teach you a lesson, which is just don't fucking say them in the first place. But now you're going to stop learning that lesson, which means when you get back into society, you will be going back a shit person, just like you left it.
I can't argue with that point.
It's meandering movies, listening to Gary, Ryan, and Gavin. It's all about films, but goes off course. Will there be arguments? Of course, 'cause everyone knows their lives are dull and they have nothing else to talk about.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Meandering Movie Podcast, where we like to talk about movies and discuss what we have been doing during these slow, never-ending, ongoing, forever days.
My question is, what's your record, boys?
It's an ungodly amount.
Record of what?
Good, just making. How many times you wank in a day?
There's times, Ryan, when you try and push him like he won't say it, and Gav just fucking 2 feet straight in there.
I know that.
I feel like
four. That's mine.
I feel like a bit of a
four's my
a bit
record.
of a child because I genuinely didn't know what you meant.
My record, I reached a point where it breathed. Nothing came out.
Like that. Mine is...
Like Gary got a cough. It's like, no, it's not me. It's him.
Mine is 1. And then after that 1, the self-loathing from the 1 takes up the rest of my time. So what I like to do is, if I've got nothing planned that day, is get the 1 out early doors, like AM, and then the rest of the day's done, taken up by just hating myself. And crying.
Just feeling miserable.
Yeah.
And then probably watching a bunch of movies and TV shows and playing some video games.
Then just having a ball in time. But yeah, that's what we wanted to talk about today. Bit of a COVID special. We're gonna treat this episode less structured than our usual stuff, and instead we are just going to.
Oh, almost a spit take from Ryan there.
Oh, Gary, imagine having like any sort of fucking myth that our podcast episodes are structured in any way.
We have an attempt at structure, but this one I think we're just going to balls to the wall it. Let's just have a chat, lads. Should we just let's just talk
like the boys
about movies and TV shows and games and everything else that we've been enjoying during lockdown.
Yeah, we can go in. I think it's okay for us to go in and we can say we had a bit of a chat last week and be like, remember when we used to just shoot the shit about films, and we just haven't been doing that. So we're thinking to go for it and just maybe take a little bit of pressure off ourselves as well, because in the middle of a fucking global pandemic, I don't think we have to be smashing out fucking really eloquent podcasts.
We don't have to be absolutely nailing it.
So I gotta say, the small amount of structure I got here, and this is literally the maximum that I'm expending. Best film you guys have watched so far? Best film during lockdown. So you've had what? We're in week 4 now? Week 5?
Yeah.
I've watched 31 films.
Holy shit!
I've watched 27.
There you go.
Guys, you guys are wrecking me. I've been playing more video games during lockdown. I've kind of been trying to jump back onto the gaming. So I've played a bunch of games, but I've not watched that many movies. Because I've been watching films with Hannah. That's like our thing that we've been doing together. So, and because we have such varying tastes, I have watched some trash and I have watched
there are some
good stuff.
A trilogy, I think it is, that I know you've watched with Hannah that I'm eager to have you talk about, because I just want to know what you think of the High School Musical movies.
Yeah, you know what? They are better than I thought they were going to be.
Okay, well, I've never seen a single one. That shouldn't surprise anyone.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Hannah was like, "Can we watch High School Musical films?" Yeah, go for it. Let's give them a watch. So stuck them on, and I was fully expecting to just sit there and kind of be like, "Oh God." And don't get me wrong, they are that. They're like, you remember like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Hannah Montana? It's an hour and a half film long version of them with songs added in. But if that's what you're looking for, and if you grew up with them as Hannah did, I can fully see the appeal.
How soon into watching it did you get sick of when they would like fly into a musical number.
What pissed me off more than anything is the whole film is Zac Efron's character. I can't even remember his name. Troy.
Audio Boy, what's?
It's Troy something. Troy Barnes.
That's Community, so no, it's not.
Oh, shit. Okay. No, but it's Troy. I think his name's Troy. Troy and Gabriella. Yeah.
Audio Boy says yes.
Continuously going, guys. I don't sing. I'm a sportsman, all right? I don't do no namby-pamby singing. I like to shoot hoops and do my best at school and don't do drugs. But singing, not my cup of tea. And this is how I'm gonna express that. Fuck off, man.
Do you know what really annoys me?
Don't do a song about how you hate singing.
About musicals and stuff, and I know this is completely just ridiculous. It should not annoy me, and it's pernickety as fuck. But see, when they start like a musical and people in the street start singing with them, I'm like, how do they know the words? How do they all know the words?
It's like when did they all go to the same dance class and get ready for this?
Exactly. No, I understand that you can sometimes improvise. If someone's about to dance, you can do it, but how do they know the words? Nope.
But how? You can sometimes that would be great. I'd love to see a musical where in the background of the musical, like in one of the choreographed dance numbers, there's just some old guy who's doing his best to keep up, and you can see him like mumbling the.
He slowly just kind of sidles off and then just bolts round an alleyway.
Exactly.
Now I have to ask, Gary, would you recommend? Because obviously people have a lot of time to watch stuff these days. Would you recommend the High School Musical?
Fucking God no. If you're going to watch any of them, watch High School Musical 2. I think High School Musical 2 was the most fun.
But would you not need the context of the first one?
No, absolutely not. The first one, they fall in love and then they do a musical, which you never get to see. In the second one, they all work at a golf course, and Troy starts being a dick because... it's so infuriating. It's such Disney logic. Like, he gets in with the rich golf course owner's parents. Like, you know, he gets in with, like, the tip-top dog. And this guy's like, Troy, you can play golf, you can play basketball, you can do all this other shit. You know what? I fucking really like you. I'm going to enroll you in the scholarship as long as you keep me sweet, the fucking richest man in town. Yeah? And Troy is like, you know what? I will do that because... a fucking free ride in college sounds awesome. And then all of his friends start going, oh, Troy, you've changed. You're such a dick now. Oh, why are you being horrible to us? And as an adult watching it, I'm fucking infuriated. I just wanted him to fucking brown nose that man. Fucking
for a free
suck
ride.
Him off for all I care. Yeah, for a fucking free ride to college and not fuck up his like opportunities in the future. But no, he fucks up his opportunities for friendship.
What I love
and that's what the Disney Channel wants you to know.
And the first one is they've kind of changed, like, obviously they can't be like Troy doesn't want to sing. He want like if that was an adult film, he'd be like, oh, I don't want to be in the band, I just want to take drugs. But like, I don't want to sing, I just want to do well in school. Like they've swapped like all this bad shit for actually like that's still quite an honourable thing to want to do. Fair enough. Probably actually don't waste your time if you don't want to be a musician in any way making musicals. It'd probably actually be quite a lot better if you just focus on your academic career, because at the end of it you're going to be like, fuck, I've got no qualifications and I've made loads of musicals, but I don't want to be a musician, so what the fuck am I going to do in my life?
What am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's why he has to end up fucking... Yeah, but that's why he has to end up working at golf courses blowing old men to get into fucking university.
The second one also, and the other reason the second one's the best one, the second one also has a Spider-Man 3-esque Tobey Maguire going evil song where Troy's angry, so he stomps about the golf course singing angry and throwing his hands around like this, and he's so fucking angry. It's fucking incredible. Incredible.
I just like the fact that clearly for the second movie, the producer knew a guy who worked at a golf course, and he thought, we can just fucking film in this golf course for no money whatsoever. Let's just write an entire movie around it. Done.
I'm with you. So yeah, what's your best film you guys have seen?
Is that your answer, Gary? High School Musical 2?
No, I fucking absolutely not. Shall I go? Yeah, all right. So I think the best film I've watched. I mean, I really haven't been watching that many films. Like, I'm trying to think of the best new film that I've watched. No, you know what? Fuck,
I don't think it has to be new.
Yeah, like I'm I don't know. I haven't really been watching a lot of films, so there's not really anything I've watched that I was like, holy shit, that was good. I watched Six Underground.
God.
Our favorite on the podcast.
Holy shit! Yeah. So you're right. Like I think you said it best, Gav. That the first 20 minutes, amazing. Like actually, so fucking good. Madness.
I never said that. I said it was nauseating.
I really like the first 20 minutes are just like non-stop action.
I think.
I'm on board.
Before they tried to do a story, it was quite good.
Yeah. First, like it's just a great action sequence.
And
that
also,
first 20 minutes.
Gavin, you do this really
I
annoying
think so.
thing, right? And I've spoken about it before, and it does my tits in. Is you sit down and you're like, I'm going to watch this gangster film, and then it delivers you a gangster film, and you're like, I fucking hate gangster films. I hate that film. And then you're like, I'm going to watch a Michael Bay film, and then you sit down and he delivers a Michael Bay opening sequence. You're like, I hate Michael Bay. Stop watching his films then.
No, that's not what happened.
You go into all these
context.
films expecting something that's just not going to happen.
No.
In fairness, your problem with what was that Scorsese one that came out recently?
The gangster?
Yeah, the
What was it
Irishman.
called? The Irishman.
Irishman.
I remember
Might as well just call the gangster.
the quote, and this is a word-for-word quote from Gavin, sitting in bar home with a pint. Yeah, the problem with that film was it was just such a Scorsese movie.
Yeah,
Gav.
Yes, it was, and
He directed
Gavin,
it.
it's not. That wasn't a secret. He wasn't revealed at the end. It wasn't like a post-credit scene where it's like, "Hi, it's me." Like he was made the film before.
I just sometimes I hope that they've learned from their bad mistakes and they're
But
better.
maybe
And
there's-
neither Martin Scorsese or Michael
Maybe
Bay
they're
were.
sitting at home, Gavin, going, "I fucking wish that Gavin would just learn from his bad mistakes and just stop going and watching our films."
Stop watching my movie. If he doesn't like
And
them,
also,
stop
It's
watching
quite
them.
hard to learn from a mistake. It's quite hard to learn from a mistake that a lot of people don't consider a mistake. Like quite a lot of people like his
Okay,
films.
but Michael Bay is a mistake. He's not
Michael
a
Bay,
mistake. His movies
go
are
and look
mistakes.
at one of Michael Bay's 6 houses and tell him to his face that his movies are a mistake. I'm sure he does not think that.
Fine, okay, but the movies are still bad, and Six Underground is fucking
Oh, yeah,
trash.
I do agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. But
Thanks for shitting on me for fucking 5 minutes and then agreeing with me that the movie's trash.
We're being nicer to each other now.
The first action sequence I enjoy, up until James Franco dies, spoilers,
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco, apologies. Up until he dies, I really enjoyed that film. Everything after that film, hot fucking trash. The hottest of hot trash.
Which of the forgettable characters was your favourite to forget?
Number 4, man. Number 4, who every one of the numbers from 1 to the new one that comes in, number 6, number 7, I don't even fucking remember, has a little bit of history and it shows you a little bit of background. The Russian guy, the Russian guy's got his mum. The FBI spook has to leave the FBI because she gets fucked over. Ryan Reynolds is a millionaire. Yada yada yada. They've all got background except number 4, who's just there the entire movie, and you have no fucking links to. She's just a fucking face for no reason.
She does the doctor bit in the car at the start.
Yep.
But it's her job, not the doctor, the whole way through, because she does no other doctoring.
She's meant to be the doctor, but then she's just a superfluous side character for the entire film.
Yeah, and also they never use the parkour guy for anything useful. Like they don't need him.
He's just
and
there
they
to get trapped.
They just end up having to save him all the time. Just get rid of him.
I love it when it gets to that point in the movie where like parkour guy's like trapped in the roof. He's like, "Leave me behind," and he starts parkouring down the building and stuff. And the music kind of swells and it gets emotional. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, we gotta get him!" And I was sitting there in my seat, just being like, "Wait, am I supposed to care about this guy?"
Yeah.
Fuck, the movie never made me do that.
And you think as well that obviously are they making money or are they just killing people?
I think they're just killing people, and Ryan Reynolds is bankrolling everything.
So surely, like the more people you involve in that, the easier it's going to be to track what's going on and stuff.
Yeah.
So Dave Franco is the driver, okay? Dies early doors, but they still manage to get everywhere for the rest of the film. In fact, the driving is still quite impressive. Yeah. Why did they hire him in the first place? They're clearly all capable drivers.
But the driving at the beginning of the film was even better. You know what I didn't understand though? Why did they hire a driver for number 1 and then number 6 they bring in? They're like, "What do you do?" "I'm a sniper." Yeah, it's about the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
One of you sits in a car and drives really fast. The other one just sits and looks through a scope.
Yeah, and he snipes like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
their entire job is
was
ruined by them getting the sniper in. Like the sniper can do everything they do all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but he doesn't, because he doesn't do anything. he just moans and just kind of stomps his feet around and goes, "Whoa, this is not morally right." It's like, fuck
We
off.
should be a family.
Shoot a person.
I don't want to be left behind.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's not morally right what they're doing.
It's a Michael Bay movie. He's not morally right, so it's fine. I watched that movie when I was really, really, really sick. And I was like, one of those kind of sicknesses where, like, at night time you hallucinate and stuff, and you're all like messed up, and you wake up in cold sweats and your whole body aches.
I just call that nighttime.
So for me, Six Underground was maybe that's why the first 20 minutes was so overwhelming for me as an experience, is because I was already so sick, and then sitting through Six Underground, which is just an assault of the senses at all times, even in like after Dave Franco's died and they're on a boat and they have like a wee memorial for him, it's such an attack of the senses with the editing and the lighting and the dialogue that I'm just like, I might pass out. I'm just like, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah, it was not a grand movie whatsoever. So I watched that. I watched Lucy with Hannah.
Was that the Scarlett Johansson one?
Scarlett Johansson, Lucy. I remember that film being like a 6 out of 10. Not great, but action, fun enough, like enjoyable. And that is not a 6 movie. That film's like a 3 out of 10. That film is boring and crap.
I was wondering if, like, being inside all the time and having nothing to do but watch films has maybe changed my not appreciation, but like my standards of films a little bit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think now when I'm watching a film that like needs quite a lot of concentration, I'm like, this is shit.
Yeah.
But it's just because I don't have the attention span to watch it.
Yeah, because you got your phone and you can go on your phone.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm watching, or it's the fucking 10th film I've watched in 2 days or something.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I just need to be like, I'm not going to watch a film for a day and just chill out a bit.
100%.
I mean, a perfect example is I watched that movie 21 Bridges, came out last year, had Chadwick Boseman and people.
And I wanted to talk to you about this because me and Dave saw this in the cinema, and I came out fairly just like, it was a movie, it happened, but I enjoyed it. Right, I enjoyed it for what it was. It's dumb action, like
the dialogue's quite decent. It's kind of fast and snappy.
It's fine.
The action is well shot. Yeah. Like that opening action shot where they go in to steal the coke or whatever it is, it's well done. Like the director of that movie is clearly a very competent, talented director who knows how to structure his shots, and the movie's good to look at, and it's always easy to follow.
Was it not the Russo brothers?
They produced it because now that after having 3 movies that have made $1 billion, they have carte blanche and doing whatever they want, whenever they want. So
I bet the Russo brothers aren't the kind of producers who do. I bet they just come in and direct it. Like, we're going to put your name on it, and we'll say we're producing it, but we're going to do everything else.
I mean, probably. What I take from 21 Bridges is Chadwick Boseman isn't as boring an actor as I thought he was, because he's quite decent in the movie. The writing's good, the action's well shot, and I'm excited to see that director do something else. Would I ever, in any other context, talk about 21 Bridges outside of the situation we're in? Not a chance.
Yeah.
Because I saw the movie, I finished the movie, I thought that was fine, it entertained me enough for 2 hours. That was it.
So,
Never thought about it again until we're doing this episode.
To that, I seen it in the cinema end of last year. It must have come out, and I cannot remember. I couldn't talk to you about it on like a proper level because I do not have the memories in my head of what was like. Other than I just can't talk about it.
I watched it also during lockdown, and I don't think it was that good. I actually was looking forward to it a wee bit because I don't mind like those kind of
mindless actions.
Shitty action films, but I did not enjoy it one bit. I thought it was really boring. I think
a problem that it has, and I said this, I messaged you about it, was the first scene happens, and then I predicted how the rest of the film was going to play out, and I wish I'd written it down and sent it to you before I watched the movie, because I got it spot on of every single little twist and how it was going to play out. I was like, because it's so basic and generic. The film never surprises you.
For anyone that does want to watch this, and this is probably the biggest spoiler warning, and the other one, so spoilers for 21 Bridges. Aha! At the end, where the robber, the guy you learn to love throughout the movie, gets shot by the bent cop.
Yeah.
Me and Dave kind of just went...
Played by Sienna Miller.
Fucking whatever. Me and Dave just sat there and kind of went, oh yeah, yep, called that, seen that come in 1,000 miles off. The woman behind me, wee Betty, just went, oh my God, can you believe that, Janice? And it was like, yes, Janice, yes, everyone can believe that because it was so fucking telegraphed. How could you not have seen it coming?
When you are in the cinema and you do hear these kind of things, you really do realise
how many films we watch.
No, like, why these films have premise, because people literally don't see that shit.
Yeah.
There are people who don't see it. So,
yeah, like, there are people who don't watch, like, 6 films in the cinema in a week whatever. Like,
fucking
whereas, like, for the three of us, we've seen... for the three of us, we've seen a 21 Bridges so many times.
21
years.
times.
Perhaps 21 times. But it's just like... That's another movie that it's one written and produced by the Russo brothers that came out on Netflix this month or last month, the Extraction with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
That's another movie where it's just like, I've seen that movie 100 times before. I knew how it was going to play out. It was fine. The action was well shot. Chris Hemsworth's backstory was so contrived and kind of haphazardly put in there. But I watched it for 2 hours. It was Audio Boy and I sat there, mostly just made fun of the film, and then that was it. It was over.
Yeah, and it's done.
I thought it was quite funny because it was obviously Chris Hemsworth's body wasn't in great shape. Because every chance, like, usually in a Chris Hemsworth film, they'd be like, "Get your top off any chance you can." But like, at one point they have him jumping into the water with a t-shirt on, and even when he's under the water, it doesn't like ride off; it's like flat. And then even the bit you see him getting changed and stuff, and he's like shoulders up. And like, Chris Hemsworth has clearly been asked the last minute to do this film, and he's like, "Yeah, sure."
Well, yeah, I think originally they wanted Bruce Willis for the role. Thankfully, he didn't take it. And then there was someone else in contention for the role as well, and then it fell to Chris Hemsworth because obviously the Russo brothers have all of the Avengers cast under their thumb at this point, so they can just like. Because they got Chadwick Boseman for 21 Bridges, they got Chris Hemsworth for Extraction. They'll probably get Scarlett Johansson for their next action romp, and they'll just
continue
push
on
those out
forever.
Because Extraction was one of the highest viewed movies on Netflix last month. It brought in a lot of people for Netflix, so they're already planning a second one. So they're just going to churn this stuff out. The Russo brothers are just going to stomp their names in it.
One thing I really appreciated in lockdown with these kind of films like Six Underground and Extraction and stuff is the art of making a trailer. I think people can make trailers really well, like better than films. It's essentially like editing a podcast, Gav, where it's like they've given you a lot of shit, make this into something good, which is what trailer people are doing. And
I'm really starting to understand Audio Boy's struggles over all this time of taking our shit and turning it into something
good. But yeah, like sometimes I'm like the trailer for Extraction, I'm like, that looks really exciting, and you watch, you're like, this is not exciting. In fact, I would probably give the trailer more rating than the film.
I mean, I think Audio Boy and I both agreed it's like the action in the beginning up and past the 12-minute no cuts action sequence, all really good, really well shot, really fun to watch. But by the time you get to the end, the film has done nothing to engage you. That you get to that big final action scene on the bridge, and I'm like, okay, cool, yep, okay, that's it. And the movie's over, and then that's it.
Yeah. It's mad how it's weird that action directors keep forgetting to make you care about the characters. Like, action's only half the battle. If you don't give a shit about any of the people that are in the action becomes far less enjoyable. Like, Dave Franco's death scene in Six Underground is shocking because it's Dave Franco. You think he's going to be one of the big names, but they're all heartbroken and they give him a little memorial, and you don't care. Like, that memorial scene is so pointless at the beginning of the film because I'm just...
Yeah. And it calls back to the thing I said earlier about the parkour guy.
Yeah,
didn't care. Like, he could have fallen to his death, and I could have watched his body turn into mulch, and I'd have been like, okay, and the next scene is now going to happen, thank you. It's like, because with Extraction, people are saying, is this the new John Wick and stuff like that? I'm like, well, no, because I cared in John Wick, and John Wick had a world that it built, and it had all these weird little things and intricacies.
And you almost
the dog died.
Go back to Game of Thrones, like watch any battle scene in Game of Thrones, and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know for a fact in Extraction, Chris Hemsworth is not going to die till the end. Yeah. He might die, he might not, who cares? But he's not going to happen till the end.
Yeah.
So there's like all those battle scenes at the start when you're just getting like, he's not going to die.
That's one thing Game of Thrones did so well, and they managed to pull that trick repeatedly of making you care about a character and then just fucking pulling the rug.
But yeah, and I think their kind of ratings almost stopped a little bit when they kind of stopped doing that, because everyone was quite safe in the last 2 seasons, I thought.
Yeah, everyone got plot armor, so it was just like, we know Jon Snow's not going to die now because he needs to be there for the last battle.
Daenerys can't die.
And he's dead already.
Yeah.
You can't, because every time I thought Jon Snow was going to die, I'm like, they're not going to do it again.
Yeah. He's already done it. But they did it with that Oberyn guy. Who?
Yeah, the Viper.
Fuck me, man! Like he was in like what 6 episodes or something, and you were just like instantly everyone's favorite character, and then just fucking head popped, dead.
Yeah,
holy shit!
And then that went away, and everyone just got all the actors got their contracts, and they couldn't kill any of them, and they just kind of stupidly got out of situations they shouldn't have.
So Sean Bean in series 1 fucking killed him. Sean Bean, Egret, the gingerbird.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that one. Like, and then they pulled it with the Viper. Who else did they kill that was like a really likable character? Oh, Natalie Dormer.
Yeah, and the young Stark. All those people in the crypt.
All the people.
It was like Natalie Dormer, her brother, not her real brother, but the guy in that.
Yeah. Man, they fucking. But the thing is, they like what I mean is like they just kept pulling the same trick, and it kept working for them.
Smashed
Hodor, Joffrey,
Tywin. They also killed. Remember, they killed the Stark. Like Ramsay killed the Stark brother as he let him go.
Oh yeah,
he was like running towards. Oh, that was brutal.
It was brutal, but I didn't give as much of a fuck about him because he was just like a tertiary side character.
Yeah. Damn. It was good.
Yeah, it's a great point of just like death has to mean something in whatever you're putting out, whether it be a game or a TV show or something. Because if you don't care, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones, for as bad as Game of Thrones got by the end, like I think like by season 6 I was like, I don't know if I can stick this out anymore. But there were still those characters there that I cared about and wanted to see how their stories ended.
You were coming back for a reason.
Yeah, I was coming back for Jaime Lannister, or I was coming back for Jon Snow, or I was coming back for Arya. But by the end, I didn't care about any of them because they just fucking tanked a lot of it. But you know,
bastards, man. I've been watching that Tales from the Loop. You seen that on Amazon? I'm on the fence about it, right? So I've really been enjoying it, but I think each of the episodes is an hour long. And they've, I think, given themselves like 20 minutes too long. If they were 40-minute episodes, they'd be perfect. Because the whole premise of the show, which is, human stories tinged with sci-fi elements, is 100% my fucking jam. That's my shit. Give me that any day of the week. But there is just so much of each of these episodes where fuck all happens. Episode 4, I watched last night, has this like granddad and the grandson, and then there's this big sci-fi sphere, like egg looking thing, and the granddad goes, "Do you see that over there?" And the son goes, "Yep." He goes, "Let's go to it." And then there's like another minute long scene of them walking towards this big sci-fi egg. And I get it, they're walking towards the sci-fi egg, but I don't need to see that, like cut the fat. I'm not looking for like a super fast-paced, sci-fi manic shit, but there's being slow and contemplative and doing it for a reason, and then there's just doing it because it's what you think the show needs. You know what I mean?
I think sometimes I always forget as well, like if I'm watching a show and it says like 40 minutes or it says an hour, I sometimes, when it comes to TV, forget that that's 20 minutes of a difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, an hour long, that's fine. 40 minutes long, that's the same. But it's not. 20 minutes is a lot on TV. Yeah. And I think,
because it doesn't have to follow the normal 3 arc. You know what I mean? Like a TV show, an episode doesn't have to follow your 3 arc structure. So 1 hour of TV could be 1 act of an arc. So you're really looking at a 3 hour long movie. And which is long. It is fucking long, and that's where you can sometimes get a bit fucking confused.
Is this Tales from the Loop? Is it like an anthology, or is it like one consistent story?
It's a consistent story, kind of, but it's also it's set around a town. There's not a main character, but there's like a group of people that it seems to be kind of in the middle of. So yeah, I'm 4 episodes in. I got 6 left. I'm looking forward to finishing it, but I am finding myself picking up my phone, and maybe this is the same thing you were talking about, Ryan. Like, my attention's just not 100% there, but I do find myself picking up my phone and kind of fiddling in those moments of. I don't know. It's when you watch Midsummer and the camera lingers and it does it with purpose. This isn't doing that. It's just lingering for the sake of filling, like what feels like the sake of filling up the time.
Yeah, just filler.
Yeah.
Like
so
almost like they've got a contract for those episodes, and they're like, "Fuck, we don't have enough stuff."
Yeah,
here to like have those hour-long episodes we promised.
100%.
Like I've watched a lot of TV. I watched two really good British TV shows on Sky. So I watched the second series of a show called Save Me, came out last year.
Okay.
It was like Lenny James wrote it about the abduction of like his daughter. Yeah. But it was like his daughter. It was a complicated relationship. Like they weren't really like close or anything like that. And then it's about him kind of using that as the sole purpose of his life. And then it ended really well. And then they brought out a second series, and I wasn't sure they needed it, but it was amazing as well. And just 6 40-minute long episodes. So nice. Like Sky are really good at that. And then I've just finished watching a show called Brassic as well.
Right.
So
I've heard of that.
It's like Joe Gilgan, the guy who was in Misfits and stuff, who played Rudy and This Is England and stuff like that. He wrote it. Co-wrote it. It's about like just these guys who live in. It's a town called, I think they call it Horley.
Horley.
But it's like it's made up. I think it's based on like a Lancashire town basically. And they just like rob stuff, and it's so funny. Like he's so well written and so funny, and they're just.
Is it one of those shows where it's just like, it's like you say, it's fast, it's funny, it holds you for like those 6 episodes
like
or whatever,
almost,
and you just
an almost like shameless kind of vibe, and that's what it feels, and like the situations they get themselves in are mental, but they're still like, if it was an American TV show, I think it would go too far.
Yeah.
But like it's like, this is a mental situation, but you can understand how they've all ended up in these situations, and you also love the characters as well. But my favourite thing about it is there's lots of characters in it who have stuff, like one of them's got like a stutter, like the main character's got like bipolar, there's a guy in it who's like gay and stuff, but that's not like, it's just a thing about them. It's not like they're defining characteristic. Like sometimes I think they stick on that stuff too much.
Yeah, totally. These characters have been written, they have these things, but that's not like
their character.
It's not like I don't know. I think, did I speak to you about this, Gavin, or you, Ryan? Actually, I don't know if I spoke about it on mic. In Onward, they do that really well, and I think it's getting praised by the LGBTQ community. So on, Disney's latest, on Pixar's latest, was it Pixar? Was it just
Pixar?
It was Pixar. Their latest movie. At one point, one of the cops come. Like, there's 2 cops that turn up, and they're both women. And they're chatting, and one of the women who's a Cyclops is like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about. My partner at home looks after the kid." She goes mental at the end of the day, and she says the kids are not wind her, like drive her up the walls. And then it moves on, and it doesn't linger, and it doesn't make a point of, "Hey, look, everyone, she said she's got a partner. She's a gay cop. How great are we?" It's just the line's been written, like it's like an afterthought almost, And it was so fucking nice.
Because it's just normality.
Yeah, like it was just so refreshing rather than it being like jammed down your throat and look. So yeah, I can appreciate that, Ryan. I love that.
Yeah, it's like so refreshing that you're like, because when it started, and one of the characters is like one of the best characters, really heartfelt, has a stutter, and you're like, oh, they're gonna fucking go on and on and on about that, and they just don't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like they just don't mention it really ever.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy it. I also took the time to watch Queen and Slim, which is probably the best film I've watched in lockdown.
Yeah, finally I have someone, because like Queen and Slim came out in the cinema.
It was out for 2 fucking weeks. 2 weeks.
It was out for 2 weeks, and unfortunately all of yous missed it in the cinema, so I had no one to talk to about this film. And Queen and Slim is 100% one of the best films I've seen this year.
So good.
It is.
What's it on? Is it on anything at the moment?
Nah, I had to pay for it.
That's fine. I might do that this weekend.
I've also just rented, before we went to Queen and Slim, a film called Calm with the Horses.
Right.
It's an Irish film. I've heard loads of praise about it. I've literally just rented it, waiting to watch it. I've not seen it yet, but I'll let you know.
Sick.
Yeah, Queen and Slim, go. Give me everything you think.
I thought it was a really beautiful story, but also like really well done as well. Like, you kind of thought that they were just going to be like these kind of heroes of the black community because of what happens at the start, and then they're not. It's portrayed really realistically, like, because they are to some people, but also it's not necessarily positive connotations. But you also understand the struggle that everyone's going through really well, and it's also just a really nice love story too.
Is this going to be? Can we spoiler? Like, I haven't seen the film.
Yeah, I tried to make that spoiler free.
Appreciate. I know we can regularly spoil shit for our listeners, but they can't complain at us because they're not live. So
yeah, I've kept it. That's it, reasonably spoiler free.
Cool.
So to try also explaining why I like it. So, but that's actually, I've started doing this course in screenwriting, and that's one of the. They were like, you need to find a script to like read to help you with everything we're talking about, and that's the script I've chosen, and I've actually now seen the film twice and read it twice as well, so that's quite cool. I enjoyed it. On
your screenwriting thing, apparently one of the best scripts to read in like history is, I can't remember if it's Aliens or Alien. I think it might be Alien. But apparently that script is like a perfect script. Like it shows you the perfect way to pace a script, like how to write a script, everything about that script. From my friends that have kind of gone through the same thing you're doing at the moment, Ryan, have said that Alien is just beat for beat for beat for beat the best script to read. Even if you're not a horror fan, it's just like a masterclass of script writing. There you go.
Fucking Dan O'Bannon.
Fun fact.
The big boy.
2 films I watched, because weirdly I've been trying to watch films. I don't know why, but I've been trying to just watch like the dregs of Netflix. I've been just watching shit.
Yep.
I've been
Same.
picking nonsense films on Netflix and going, you know what, fuck it, that's an hour and a half, I'll stick it on. So 2 films I watched out of my like many garbage crap films that I've been watching that I actually ended up enjoying. So I've rated them not really low, but I've rated them, I think both, neither one's cracked like 5 stars. So they're not great movies, but I enjoyed them both. Time Trap on Netflix. Anyone?
Nope.
And Office Uprising was the other one. No.
Nope.
So Time Trap is about a cave that time goes really slowly in. And people go like, and when I mean really slow, I think every like 5 seconds is a year. And this guy, like a history lecturer, goes into it looking for his parents, and then these students looking for him go into it separately, and they just get trapped in there, and they realize very slowly that they're stuck in a time cave. And like now that
how did he realize that?
Now that I'm explaining it out loud, it sounds even fucking dumber than the film was. But it ended up being really like surprisingly enjoyable. It's a bunch of young actors. The main guy was probably the worst one, and then every other actor in that film was actually like a surprisingly good little actor. You know what it's like when it's kind of teens and kids acting? They usually, you can see the lines going by in their head as they recite them. It didn't feel like that, so that was surprising. And then the kind of final act of the film got really fucking stupid because all the people in the time cave start getting attacked by cavemen, and then aliens come into it, and yada yada yada. But it's an hour and a half. It's dumb as shit, and it's funny as fuck. And then
what would you say the genre of time cave was?
Like sci-fi thriller, maybe?
Okay.
Or total trash, maybe?
Gav, I really want you to watch it. And you as well, Ryan. I really want you both to watch it. Just to
watch it.
Get your thoughts. The other one was Office Uprising, which is like the Belko experiment, but
oh yeah.
Have you seen this one?
I've seen the Belko experiment.
Right. Office Uprising is like this company, and it's that classic kind of he's a layabout that just smokes pot and yada yada yada. Some Andrew Garfield type. I have no idea who the main character is, but they clearly wanted Andrew
His name's
Garfield.
Brendan Thwaites.
Who's that?
What?
I had no idea.
Right.
I just googled it.
What's his name?
Brendan Thwaites.
That's the guy who plays Robin in the Titan shows, is it not?
Oh, that might be why I recognise
Pretty sure
it.
it's the guy who plays Dick Grayson.
There you go. I figured they wanted Andrew Garfield but couldn't afford the payroll for him, because they did get Zachary Levi, which I was surprised about. Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was just like, me and Hannah watched that one. I'd rate this one lower than Time Trap, but by the end of it,
oh wow,
me and Hannah were just like, that was surprisingly funny. It's dumb as shit. It's got the girl from Evil Dead in it as a starring
Jane
role.
Levy.
Jane Levy. My 2 points that I'm going to take from this is, one, I want Ryan to now swap the Queen and Slim script out for the Time Cave Trap, whatever script, and because that's going to really help you in the screenwriting course. And then my second point is that Audio Boy and I have gotten to the point when it comes to watching movies, is we just like look for trash and put trash on, and then just sit and like almost like we're on Gogglebox or something, and just tear the film apart and just laugh and have fun.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, me and Hannah have been doing the exact same things. Like, Time Trap and Office Uprising, we stuck on, and we just had a giggle watching it. We didn't, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't, like, if I watch Queen and Slim with Hannah, she goes up and she uses the toilet, and she's like, "Oh, can you pause it?" And I pause it, and then we want to get a drink, and then I'm pause. You know what I mean? It's like films that I really want to watch, I feel like I'm not getting the full experience with. It's not like a criticism for Hannah, obviously, but because I'm in the house, it's just harder to
I mean, it sure sounds like fun.
no, because I do it as well. But like these films, it's just so easy to stick on and just shred and have a laugh. And even if you end up enjoying it at the end of it, like maybe I enjoyed it with these films more because me and Hannah just fucking had a giggle through them. But there's one kid in that Time Trap that is like, you meet him right at the beginning, Furby. He's like some little pervert kid who keeps trying to chat up the 18-year-old. It's weird. And we were just like, I fucking hope he dies. And then when he does die, me and Hannah were both like, yes! So,
I mean, a movie that's a perfect example of that, the Audio Boy and I watched last month, maybe, was a movie called Love, Wedding, Repeat. It's if you've seen, it's a Netflix movie. If you see the trailer there, it's like some guy falls for a girl, but then he doesn't see her, and then he goes to his sister's wedding, and then she's there, and then it's all these people like interacting with each other, and it introduces, and this is mental, it introduces time travel, but doesn't. So, what? Like, it's so weird. There's a moment where the woman who's getting married, her ex-boyfriend from like school shows up, but he's all like drugged up and crazy, and she's like, oh no, he's going to ruin the wedding. And she goes to her brother, played by Sam Claflin from like Peaky Blinders and other such things, and they're like, oh, I'll like drug him with this sleep medicine so he'll just fall asleep. So Sam Claflin puts it in the glass, but then it plays out all the different scenarios of if, like, because 6 people sit around the one table, obviously, and like, oh, what would happen if Olivia Munn's character drank it? What would happen if Ashton B's character drank it?
Community episode,
kind of. But then there's a point where the wife pushes the husband off of a high place and he falls. The movie pauses and it goes, hold on, rewinds and starts again. And I'm just like, what? It doesn't introduce it. It doesn't explain it. There's no reason for it. But it does that thing once. Never again in the movie. And then the movie just plays out. And it's mental, and the dialogue is awful. And Sam Claflin's haircut is atrocious.
I'm going to watch this with Hannah.
I really want to watch it. Yeah, because because Shauna loves trash films, and we were going to watch it. And then it started, and she's like, I actually think this is too trash for me.
Ryan, I'm going to say something that's going to make you want to watch it. You get to see Olivia Munn interact with Tim Key.
Done.
There you go. So bizarre. The movie is, and then we were just sitting there, just playing along with it, just like saying, "Oh, this is going to happen," or laugh. It's like you say, it's trash nonsense, but it's a good laugh if you're sitting around with someone just making fun of the movie.
You remember you were taking the piss out of that TV show about the plane that has to outrun the sun?
Yeah.
Me and Hannah.
That old classic.
Me and Hannah watched it.
Is it good?
That sounds like a no.
It's interesting. So it's a French show, and when you first stick it on Netflix, same thing happens with the platform. Netflix defaults to English dubs now,
which
is so fucking annoying. So it's a French show, and it came on, and me and Hannah were watching it, and I went, wait, all the women, why do they all have the same voice? So I think they've got like 4 different voice actors if you're listening to the dubbed version. So we switched it onto subbed, and it was slightly better. I mean, it's like, it's 6 episodes and it just finishes, and you realize that those entire 6 episodes could have just been 2 episodes, and they could have actually progressed the story, because where it ends is nowhere. It ends at the point where it should be beginning, if that makes sense, you know?
Okay.
It's like so the season.
Almost like a setup.
Yeah. It's like a pilot episode that they've stretched out over 6 fucking episodes. Yeah, like that's the best way to describe it. So, however, it's not as fucking dumb as when you described it, Gav, and you were taking you were like just ripping into it. I went, this sounds fucking terrible. And someone that had his work said, well, we should give this a watch. So I thought, fuck it, she wants to watch it, we'll stick it on. And I mean, we went through it in like 2 nights, so clearly it engaged us enough to keep watching it.
Yeah, it was suggested to me with a huge pretext of, if you want to watch something that is absolute shit, but you just want to put something on, and then he told me what it was.
Continuing the trend of Audio Boy and I watching absolute trash, and we've already mentioned some TV shows, thankfully. Audio Boy and I watched a reality Netflix TV show called Too Hot to Handle, where a bunch of like 10 or 12 stupidly attractive people go to this island.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh, we're all sexy and we're all gonna fuck and stuff. But after the first 12 hours, is it? They then introduced this rule where none of them are allowed to have sex. They're not allowed to kiss. They're not allowed to masturbate. They're not allowed to do anything. And if they do it, someone will win $100,000 at the end. And then you just watch these awful, degenerate people who are way too attractive just fuck each other anyway. And of course, every time they fuck each other, money leaves the $100,000 pot. So if 2 people have sex, they're fucking over other people, and it creates this crazy drama. And there's some people who just can't not touch each other because they're so attractive, and it's unfair how attractive they are, and they're very minuscule little bikinis and boy shorts.
Right.
But we watched it's 8 episodes. We watched all 8 episodes, and we just screamed at the TV. And then, like, the final episode just threw us for a loop of what they do at the end. And yeah, we're watching trash. We need help. We need this to end so we can escape.
Do you know what's really funny?
Reality.
Hannah started watching Too Hot to Handle because she loves Love Island. She loves all that hot trash. And she turned it off and said, I can't watch this. This is fucking terrible.
Yep, Shauna did exactly the same. She said she watches Love Island and stuff like that. And she put it on, and then I was next door, and then I came through and I was like, oh, how's the show? She's like, nope, it's off.
You definitely cannot watch it alone.
Yeah, you need to a partner in crime to like bounce off of with like how awful these people are. and then like the final episode, it tries to have like a redemption for all of them, and you're just like, no, you've learned nothing, you awful human beings. I'm not, who cares about spoilers? It just ends with they just split, like they've lost so much money, but then they give them a way to win a bunch of money back. Yeah. And then it ends with them just giving everyone on the island a cut of the pot.
Fuck that.
So none of them learn anything, none of them improve, and then they just get $7,500 each.
What? That's basically just basically saying, if you are given a set of rules and do what the fuck you want anyway, nothing bad's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then it just ends.
Pretty much.
And we were so angry. We committed at least 8 hours to this show. And then they just all got the money and left happily.
That's bullshit. That's proper bullshit. I'd be raging.
I can't believe this is what I've come to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, no, like me and Gary have come in, like maybe we talked about some trash, but we came in with some serious. I wasn't expecting you to really. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I think I'm going to send you some suggestions, Gav.
I mean, 4 days ago, I decided to go back and watch one of Francis Ford Coppola's kind of underrated pieces of brilliance. So I watched
Mission Impossible 2.
Conversation. No, I watched The Conversation. It's a movie that came out in between The Godfather and The Godfather 2, and so it kind of got buried, didn't get a lot of attention. Stars Gene Hackman and I can't remember the other guy's name who was also in like the Godfather movies. But you recognise his name, Audio Boy. Do you remember? Doesn't matter. But yeah, The Conversation is one of It's one of Audio Boys. It's one of Francis Ford Coppola's kind of underrated masterpieces. It's on BBC iPlayer just now.
Sure, I did have a hand in that film.
I mean, it's a film about Gene Hackman is a private investigator who uses different means of recording conversations between people for nefarious means, and he gets to this one conversation that he records between a couple in a park, and it goes places and it spirals out of control, and like there's moments by the end that are just with Gene Hackman that are so good, and
that sounds good.
That's a proper movie that I would recommend.
I'll give it a
watch. A proper movie. Right. Has anybody got anything else they want to chat about? Anything they want to chuck into the ring?
Ocean's 11 holds up.
No, yeah, that's true. I agree.
Ocean 11 is so fucking good.
Done.
Well, on that note, Ocean's 11 holds up. Thank you all so much for listening. That was just a kind of general jabber about films, TV shows, and just whatever we fancied, really. Gavin, if people want to send in what they're watching during lockdown, where can they do it?
You can go to our social medias by hitting us up at Meandering Pod on Twitter. Jump to Instagram and Facebook and search for Meandering Movie Podcast. And if you want to send in an email, that's meanderingmoviepodcast@gmail.com. If you're on iTunes or Spotify, jump down into the description. There's links for everything for you to hit. And if you're on iTunes, give us a review or leave us of what you think of the podcast, because we've not asked for that in a while. And give some topic suggestions on any of those, of things you wanted to hear us talk about, because we're maybe running out of ideas because we have nothing really to talk about right now during this fun time. So yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of something. Have a great lockdown, and we'll catch you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
Music is life.
It's Meandering Movies, listening to Gary, Ryan, and Gavin. It's all about films, but goes off course. Will there be arguments? Of course, 'cause everyone knows their lives are dull and they have nothing else to talk about.
I just realised we never did names or anything at the end.